Mr. Shah, as you are aware that ETInfra is organizing this one-day event on ports and shipping. This will be our maiden event in Mumbai on the 29th of September at Taj Santa Cruz, and we are privileged to have you on board.
Thank you.
Let me welcome you by asking you, I mean, as someone who has been, tracking or doing, business in this segment, what is the state of play in the container shipping industry at the moment, linking India?
Thank you, Manoj. So let's take it that container industries, as far as the India is concerned, been divided into two parts. One is EXIM logistics, and one is your local logistics. I think we all are aware that the post-pandemic shipping industry was on a sweet spot because the freight rates has gone up, the container prices has gone up, but naturally now after the China open up, everything is square back to zero. Industry is passing through some very, very tough time. Various reasons associated to the same. So a lot of supply of shipping freight and the less demand, and most important two factor. One is the geopolitical war between Russia, Ukraine, lot of geopolitical tension between the China and the Western countries. And most important, not to forget that most of the countries post-pandemic are trying to nationalize, or they are also going like what India is doing, a self-reliant, looking for an alternative supply chain, probably to secure few of their industry. And this is definitely impacting the global trade, and the shipping has a direct correlations with the global trade. So giving your answer, right now container industry for EXIM logistics is passing through a very, very tough time because the ocean freight has bottomed out. Now the shipping lines are trying to push the freight, but at least for a time being, because you also understand there are a lot of restrictions from the government. They are pushing to, again, election is coming. Indian government is banning export of a lot of agriculture product to protect probably for the Indians from higher inflation. So a lot of factors, but that's it. That yes, industry, at least for a time being, where we were before a year, it's completely south now, from north to south. So we hardly got a time to adjust. Very tough time.
Yeah. So that's on the market side. But the government, as we all know, has also put in place many measures or taken many initiatives to, like never before, to promote the shipping sector and also the container shipping industry. How have these initiatives impacted the container sector, Indian container industry, benefits in terms of benefiting the industry?
Huge way, honestly. I think let's applaud our government. First is focus on infrastructure, because for any country to promote their export, what is most important is your infrastructure, the ease of transportations between the borders, and making sure that, because in export and import you compete with the global peers. So I can say that government, the biggest change what government brought is in the mindset of the people. There is a separate department in New Delhi, which is making sure that all the key product India start, and they have a very, what I like about the Indian government, that nobody is talking short term, because they know that if we India really want to be in a self-reliant, then we need to have a very long-term strategy to allow our manufacturing industries the skills which you require to manufacture a particular product to grow. And I think let's take an example of a Sagarmala project itself is pushing a lot of investments across India. So from government side, I think they are pushing new ports, huge investment. In Gujarat, they are probably now investing in one of the port called Vadhwa, a humongous project, and they want Indian ports now into top 10. Also, not to forget the growth of e-commerce in India, which is also fueling a lot of growth, not only for a local logistics, but also for the EXIM logistics. Earlier, before few years, we were a net importer of electronic products. Now we are a net exporter of electronic products. So there are a lot of growth engine thanks to government policy, dedicated freight corridor. Again, a very big investments because a lot of traffic is moving not from road but road from rail. Also, if you guys are aware that now first time in India we have a double decker rail. Now, this is going to be the game changer because your logistics cost of moving cargo from first mile, last mile, definitely we will be more and more competitive. There are total 700 export hubs which government is working, trying is to make a cluster. So let's say, for example, take an example of Lucknow or rather Kanpur rather, which is an excellent in a leather industry. So they make sure that all the backward integration, forward integrations to support that particular industry, the government is pushing the export, of leather. Taking an example of solar panel, again, India is now competing against Chinese because we all know that the world is moving towards the clean energy. So a lot of such initiatives, and first time in India, private public partnership or a public private partnership where they are putting the big industrial zones, all the necessity, incidental industries are going to be invested in a one zone. I think this will impact reduction in a logistics cost, just-in-time inventory, and I'm very sure probably India is sitting on a sweet spot to push the EXIM growth forward.
You rightly explained many of the things that has been taken that is contributing into making India a manufacturing hub and smoothening the logistics process. Are there still any areas that needs improvement, and what should the government do about?
Many areas, definitely many areas for a improvement. It is still, let me put it in that way, that still our infrastructure require a further push. Many of our ports are still congested. The overall logistics cost, Manoj, when I compare probably to the rest of the bigger economies, India still have a huge logistics cost. Take an example of import. This government brought a change. Earlier, all your equipments or all your containers, you take it to container freight stations and do a custom clearance. Now, government has allowed direct port delivery, which has definitely have a very positive impact in reducing your logistics cost. But still, I think government probably can negotiate with the shipping industries to standardize the tariff of local charges, detention demurrage across all the Indian ports. I think this will definitely, because especially while India is looking now to become a manufacturing hub, we will have a humongous investments in plant machineries, and India will keep importing all these things either from European countries or Chinese. And India need to do something because detention dam is still, if we compare globally, Indian importers still pay very high detention demurrage compared to probably their global peers. So they keep pushing infrastructure. I think GST is also turning out to be a fabulous supporter, but long way to go. India need to decongest their ports. India need to make sure that we keep investing in the railway infrastructure to give the first mile, last mile connectivity, wherein we avoid stoppage of container, because still crossing border, you go to any border, especially in northeast and south, you will be able to see a lot of containers are stopped there. So it's not that easy moving, and this impact your logistics cost because you require more vehicles, and these definitely transporters are going to pass on this cost to the exporter importer. So finally this lead to the more logistics cost.
Thank you so much. I mean, these are very, very valid and very, very critical issues that the government has to come out with some solutions, as we go forward. So all these points will be discussed threadbare and very extensively during the one-day conference that ETInfra is organizing on the 29th of September. Hope to see you there, sir, and to get the benefit of your wide knowledge on this sector. Thank you so much.
Manoj, looking forward to meet the team ETInfra and your co-panel speaker. Looking forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good day to you.
Good day to you. Bye-bye.